This is Jablam Hockey with your hosts, Peter Bojarnov and Paul Zwanbeck. Welcome to Jablam Hockey, folks. I'm your host, Peter Bojarnov. You can find me on Twitter at Russian98, and I'm with
Paul Zwanbeck. You can find me at Zwanbag, ZWAMBAG. How's it going, everybody? Peter, what's up?
The usual, watching a lot of hockey. Or
Nice.
at least trying to. I'm trying to. I've been working a lot lately, almost every day of the week it seems like. But I'm trying to fit some hockey in there. You?
I am busy fixing up my house and haven't watched very much hockey at all. It's quite disappointing.
It would be if you couldn't catch the games, that's for sure. How have the Pens been playing lately?
Pretty good. We got smoked by the Rangers the other day. They scored, I think, 5 straight on us. And then we came back 2 nights later and beat them right back 6-1. So
Yeah.
they've been okay. I haven't watched a lot of other hockey. I've watched a lot of Penguin hockey, but not a lot of other NHL hockey. It's kind of too bad.
There's been some pretty good games out there and some sluggish games. As we're recording this, it's Thanksgiving in the States, so I hope you guys are enjoying it out there, enjoying some turkey on this nice Thanksgiving day. What do we have this episode? Well, I was struggling to produce this episode to find a guest for the Buffalo Sabres, so we are not Team ISOing the Sabres this week, hopefully next week. But what do we have? We have Yay or Nay with Paul and his Penguins at the quarter mark. We have Fantasy Up and Down, and we have our top 10 for the month. It's rookie seasons, top 10 rookie seasons, best seasons for any of the guys who won the Calder. But first, trending now. Paul, did you hear about these new All-Star rules, or are we calling it like John Scott rules?
I think we should call it the John Scott rule. Yeah, it definitely is going to keep from anybody voting in John Scott or someone of that ilk.
So how does it work exactly? It seems like you could still technically vote in a guy who's scratched all the time, right?
Eligible players must be on NHL club's active roster as of November 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Any player not on the active roster on that date due to injury or special circumstances can be added to the ballot. They also have put in a stipulation of they can null and void votes if they feel like they're not an eligible player.
I know per se the Leafs, they're always doing hashtag Free Corrado, Frank Corrado, the younger defenseman who is getting very little playing time, but a lot of people, especially stats geeks, love him. So they're doing Free Corrado. So how about maybe for Toronto land, they might do a Free Corrado or All-Star Corrado? I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm pretty sure the Leafs free somebody every single year. Wasn't it like 3 years ago they free Gardner?
Yep, because Jake was benched for a bit.
Yeah, the Leafs just pick one guy and they fall in love with them and put free in front of it and make a hashtag and go Leafs.
Mine would have been Free Riley when Babcock was not putting him on the power play, at least for the first half of last year. Or for Montreal fans, it would have been Free Galchenyuk for being on the third line for most of the last season. And then, of course, look what happened when he was playing on the first line. Dominated. So, I could still see fans going and crazy about like a grinder and putting him in the All-Star game because that's still possible, right?
Yeah, who would be on the top of that list?
Yeah, so like I said, if it was Leaf fans, it'd be like somebody like a Corrado, in my opinion.
Where is the All-Star game this year? Do you know offhand?
Isn't it in La La Land, I believe?
Oh, so maybe they vote in Dustin Brown.
Dustin Brown, before Las Vegas has a chance to maybe try to scoop him up in the expansion draft. But they probably won't because it's a big cap hit.
Oh, Las Vegas, you say?
Yeah. I think it's a big cap hit, so he probably won't be going there. But speaking about that, they're called the Vegas Golden Knights. So I
Nailed
don't know
it.
what's going. I don't know what's going on here. Um, First off, poll. We did poll on Twitter, and Paul, what was the first poll that we did?
The first poll was what the name was going to be, what everybody thought the name was going to be. He had about
the options.
couple days to vote Silver Knights, Golden Knights, or Desert Knights, because that's what Bill Foley said. One of those three are going to be the name of our team.
And the funny thing was, exactly what we thought that everybody expected was what Desert Knights was the highest in the poll, right?
47%.
And then it was Silver Knights at
29%.
And then the actual chosen one of Golden Knights was
24%.
Wow.
With 55 votes, so very, very high turnout for our polls. Not very high in the big aspect, but a lot more than 24 like last week. So keep voting, everybody.
Thanks for all who voted. But yeah, I think a little bit surprised that they went with the Golden Knights, right? I don't know what's going on. It seems like there's a bit of hate going on. Maybe it's because people just like to hate. You know, people go online and just hate everything. Seems like a lot of people don't like the logo. Some people don't like the name. I don't know. And a lot of people didn't like how they unveiled everything. You know, it took 3 months to do unveiling. I don't know what the rush is. The team's not playing until next fall. So why is everybody getting in an uproar of like, oh, we're waiting so long to get the team name, the logo. Now we're going to be waiting longer to see the jersey. Relax. There's a lot of time till next fall.
I enjoyed the unveiling of the delay of the actual video.
Did you thought it was funny?
I thought Bill Foley covered it pretty well, saying that On the Ice will be much better than this, and yeah, it was a good cover. But why not just announce it? Why'd they have to have that video? Like,
yeah. So a lot of people didn't like that, the delay, the video, and everything. I don't know. The name, a lot of people don't like that. Loss is out of it. I like it. Remember, I was talking before that it's a mouthful to be saying Las Vegas Golden Knights, like 4 names. So at least they got rid of the Las. Are they going to get rid of Los Angeles, New York? I don't know.
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
The Louis Blues and the Angeles Kings and the Jose Sharks. I think they should. Everybody should just drop their first word.
Yes, make it shorter. No, I actually like that part. Of course, same thing. We wanted just the Knights, but I think because the London Knights are such a big junior hockey team, they didn't want to go there. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised 10, 15 years down the road, just like the Mighty Ducks, to just maybe switch to the Knights later on. So we'll see what happens. But in my opinion, it's not a big deal.
In our second Twitter poll, Peter, we asked what everybody thought of the logo and color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
We had not as big of a turnout, only 20 votes. So come on, guys, get back to voting. 55% love it. Just love the whole thing. 25% hate it. 15% didn't like the logo, liked the colors, and 5% liked the logo, didn't like the colors. Where did you fall on this Twitter poll?
I think I was good with everything.
Yeah, I love it. I love the color scheme. I like the look. I like the second emblem. That's probably going to be their shoulder patch, the swords in behind the star.
I don't like that.
No?
It seems like too many lines. I don't know. That's why that one I actually, I didn't like that much. The star and the sticks, and it's too much going on in my opinion. I'm okay with the regular logo. And you know what? The shield behind, I wouldn't mind if it was even made simpler and just remove that as well. Just the Magneto helmet, as I like to call it. I don't know if you saw that. We will put this on our game notes. There's a lot of people making fun because of the logo looks kind of like Magneto's helmet. And a lot of people are already talking about, what is the mascot going to look like? And there's so many different things out there. They have Gold Dust. They have, of course, Magneto. They have Joey from Friends when he was dressed up in the Legionnaire night suit as well when he was working in Vegas. There's a few out there. They're hilarious. and we will put them on our game notes. Keep them, and yeah, you can go on Twitter, and you can even check mine at Russia98. My Twitter, I put a few of them out there. They're hilarious.
I hope they go with an all gold equipment, like gold helmet, gold gloves. That will be solid. Especially their hashtag bold and gold. I really hope they go at least their third uniform or something. Just full blown like Notre Dame gold, just all gold.
Like all gold and some dark green.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It would look pretty cool. I'd like a darkish golden helmet and stuff on the ice. So that'd be pretty cool. Let's move on. JT Brown phone throwing incident. Did you see or hear about this?
I did not.
So, they were playing in a game, and JT Brown was going to the penalty box and leaving the ice. Or no, he was leaving the ice because he received a minor and a 10-minute misconduct in about a minute and a half left in the third period after an altercation against Nashville's Ryan Ellis. And there was a fan, looked like he was sticking out his phone and chirping Brown, and of course he's just in a rage right now. He just grabs it and it looks like he just whips the phone right out of the guy's hand. So it was pretty hilarious. We will also link that the TMZ video of that. You can actually see him just, smashing the phone pretty much. Hilarious. And he apologized, which is good. He just came out flat, apologized. It seems like they're going to give the fan back a brand new iPhone and even maybe even a signed jersey. Would it be odd if you're pissed off at this guy or you don't like him and he smashes your phone and then getting his jersey and that he's signing?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I don't know. I would rather go, can I get Stamkos to sign this, please? Thanks.
Well, that'd be awesome if he turned it around and put it on Twitter and burning it or something, and it just makes an even bigger ordeal out of it. Like, I don't want this guy. I was chirping him. I hate him. Why would I want something signed by him?
Or just tweet it out that I'm selling it on eBay for $1.
Yeah. Just blatantly and somehow get it back to JT Brown so he sees it and he just goes even more ballistic. Or next game have a sign of some sort.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, that would be good.
Even better, because of Thanksgiving, all football was going on, but of course there's Aretha Franklin's anthem. Did you see that one, Paul?
I did see this. This is quite hilarious.
Yeah, so I cooked a whole turkey during this anthem, and I believe, what did the Luongo tweet out?
That he did his whole Christmas shopping while he was listened to the anthem.
Yes, he did.
It was ridiculously long.
Oh man, it was like every single word she said. A couple of lines, she said it 3 or 4 times in a row. And when you're playing the piano, she's jazzing up the entire song. Oh my goodness, she's got a great voice. She's got great pipes. But wow, that was.
Do you think she gets off the stage and she's like, I wonder if anybody's going to care? Am I that powerful of a singer and human being to be like, I totally butchered that, and everybody's going to be like, they loved it. They loved it. Would you not? I don't know. I think it's kind of ridiculous.
She's basically the Undertaker of anthems. Right?
Yeah.
When Undertaker comes out, it's like, oh yeah, here's the Undertaker, and we breathe it in and we give him his due time to take his 10-minute entrance. So she's allowed to take her 6-minute anthem. And then another crazy thing was Steve Dangle. He makes his own little LFR videos, I believe, on YouTube, and he made a deal with the devil.
Uh-oh.
Yes. We even played it at City News on Work on TV yesterday. So Matthews, of course, Austin Matthews is in a huge slump, as they could say, for our superstar rookie. 12 games without a goal. But again, in possession stats and advanced stats in terms of shots on net, missed shots on net, scoring opportunities, he's top 5 in all those categories pretty much. So it will happen, it will come. So apparently he made a deal with the devil, aka the demons, the hockey gods, and basically said, please, Austin Matthews, score next game. And that's exactly what happened. But at the end of the video, he also said, what does he have to sacrifice for this? Come on, Dangle, sacrifice something from yourself. No, he sacrificed a Maple Leafs loss. And did that happen? What happened in the game? Matthew scores. Matthew basically scores the next goal, which barely goes off Kadri. And then he scores again, so almost a hat trick. 2 goals and assists to be exact. And then the Leafs collapse and lose the game in a shootout. So they lost as well. So it came true.
Maybe Dangle's in the boat that you're in, that you're hoping for a tanking and going for another top pick.
Oh, well.
Deep down inside, I bet that's what he's thinking.
Maybe. I don't know. It just, you know what? I could still see these Leafs easily making the playoffs right now. They have such a dangerous team. It's just that defensively, there's still holes. So I would rather have, a top 5 defenseman or type player. But again, how long will they take to develop, right?
Yeah.
That's the issue on the side of that. All right, let's get into this episode. What do we have first, Paul? Are you going to go with your yay and nay?
Sure, let's do this.
All right. Paul's Penguins, yay or nay? So basically, how this works is a few major topics, major headlines from the Penguins, right? And you're going to say if they're good or not, right?
Yeah, I'm going to give a couple of guys that are having hot starts and a couple of guys that need to step it up.
Perfect. What do you got?
We got depth. We got lots and lots of depth. They may not be scoring depth, but it's speed. We have speed, and I think teams are trying to build the same way as the Penguins built their team last year. And that usually happens. The Stanley Cup teams get... They're really a blueprint. Nice... Yeah, they're a blueprint of what everyone else wants to build their team as. So,
and a very nice debut from Gunsel.
Yeah, 2 goals. Big shout out to him.
Yep.
First goal on his first shift and first shot in the NHL. Wow. Just like Mr. Mario Lemieux. I don't want to compare it. He's not going to be Mario Lemieux. But did you see his family reaction?
That was crazy. His
good.
Dad, totally flipped out.
Yeah, so good. So I'm going to put those on the game notes as well. So go check out his family reaction. It's probably one of the best ones of the year. There's been a lot of good family reactions, but yeah, Gunsel's is up there.
All on JablamHockey.com.
Yeah. Phil Kessel, Penn's leading scorer right now. Nice. Who would have thought that with Crosby and Malkin and those 2 guys, and Letang, they're normally the top 3, and now Phil Kessel's up there.
Yeah, Crosby did miss some games at the beginning, so.
Yeah, but still, it all matters.
How many goals does Crosby have in how many games?
14 goals.
In 14 games?
In 14 games, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's dominating still.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even look like he doesn't score like sniper goals anymore. He just scores dirty deflections. That's all he does is deflect, and it's quite impressive.
That's the new NHL. 50% of goals are almost deflections, and it's because the goalies are so good.
Another guy that's now stuck in the shadows, and he definitely deserves to be in the shadows. Matt Cullen. He's our team dad for one thing. He's an old man, and he treats all the guys like they're sons of his. Yeah. He took Kuhnhackl. I think Kuhnhackl lives with him and took him under his wing. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Kuhnhackl calls him dad. So he's definitely our team dad. He's a Swiss Army knife. He plays up and down the lineup. Pretty much every single game, he's first, second, third, fourth line. He just rotates through the lines. It's pretty crazy that he still fits that role. And we weren't even sure if we were going to re-sign him, but we did. So.
Yep, got him in.
It's definitely a good guy to have. Matt Murray playing lights out. He's 6-1. He finally lost a game. 1.57 goals against average, 945 save percentage. He has the number 1 role. I didn't think he was going to come back and take it, but he's definitely outplaying Fleury. Fleury is definitely a nay on the yay or nay. Fleury is just
wow,
which is crazy. So, he's still 6-4, which isn't bad, but it's not 6-1 like Murray.
So what are they gonna do with Fleury now? Because apparently he's exempt from the expansion draft, right?
Yeah, they've kind of changed their outlook on this whole no movement clause exempting players and stuff. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Is he going to go on the trading block come this February? Do you think? Maybe?
I don't know. They've already been talking to him, and he's like, I enjoy this role. I enjoy being second fiddle. And it's like, I think you're just saying that.
But also for the cap hit,
Yeah, I think the Pens are going to be in trouble, but they definitely got Matt Murray on cheap deal for the next 3 years at 3.5. So
yeah,
maybe they keep both and play like how Dallas Stars have 10 million in cap hits on goalies, but our two goalies are much better than Dallas's goalies.
Yes, that's a big difference there.
So it could be interesting, and a guy that might be affected by that is Derek Pouliot. Still not in the lineup. How is this guy not in the lineup? Because he's not playing well, Peter. He's something's wrong with him. I don't know what's wrong with him, if he needs a change of scenery, but he came out of junior and looked so good, and something happened. I don't know if it's the coaching staff screwed him up or his confidence is shot, but he's just, I don't know. I think he needs a change of scenery. I think he's going to be dealt sometime this year.
So he's a big nay.
He's a big nay.
Wow. And what about Hornqvist?
Hornqvist is just hurt.
So he's injured right now?
Yeah, he's missed past 4 games, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Still scoring at 0.8 points per game, so
nice.
Yeah, he's having a decent year. He's shooting a ton. He leads us in shooting, 62 shots on goal, which is pretty crazy. He's still that dirty net front presence type of guy. I would give him an yay as of right now.
All right. Any other big ones?
I really think Chris Letang deserves to be on the nay list.
Wow.
Yeah, 12 points in 15. You would think that would put him in the yay, but watching him night in, night out, he's not the same Chris Letang from like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
He's not flying.
No, he doesn't seem to. He's playing more like how everybody thinks Erik Karlsson just plays offense. He's playing more just offense, and it's hurting him on the defense. And his sidekick Dumoulin, they're both -4, -4.
Wow.
But his shooting percentage is really low, so I think that will go up, and that'll make his points go up. But he needs to work on his defensive game. This is the first year I've noticed that his defense is going on the decline. So he deserves to be on the nay. And as a trend, pretty much all the defensemen are not playing well. We need a upgrade in defense, so we can't go with Letang, Dumoulin, Daly, Schultz. Trying to think of the other two guys. Pouliot's there. Warsawski's played a couple games.
So are they looking for a new D-man?
I think they need a 4 or 5 D-man, like somebody that shores up that defensive game. And Olimata. Boo, Olimata. What happened to this kid? Like,
he's not stepping up.
No, 1 point. 1 point.
Wow.
How is he only got 1 point when he gets past to Malkin, Crosby, Kessel? It's just not good. He's basically, the whole defense core is an A. We're just not very good defensively, which is no surprise to anybody.
And then management-wise, or at least coaching-wise, yay or nay so far?
Mike Sullivan, yay. Yay. He presses the buttons just in the right way to keep these guys going. Our bounce back from a loss is pretty high. I don't know if we've gone 2 straight losses. I haven't really looked at the schedule, but I don't remember 2 bad games back to back. So he definitely gets these guys motivated and turned back around. I don't know if Jim Rutherford's going to be our GM much longer. Not because of his performance as a GM. I think he's just ready to be done. He's getting up there in age. He's getting up there health-wise. I think he's just going to start slowing down. He might move into like a VP position rather than the actual general manager. So I don't know what's going to happen there.
Alrighty. And that's it for Paul's yay or nay. And he's going to post his yay or nay on Jablam Hockey and our Facebook page.
Yeah.
All right. Time for the top 10. We'll go with this. My picks for the best Calder seasons of all time.
And you're going 10-1, right?
I am going to go 10-1.
Yes.
But why are we doing this? We're doing this because this is the most amount of rookies I think I've ever seen rookies play in a season. Is it not? This is crazy.
Do you want to know how many rookies?
Go ahead, tell me.
129 rookies have played this year.
129? That's insane.
Yeah, that seems way, way high. But yeah, out of goalies and forwards, 129 players.
And so many of them are playing well, right? We have Line A, almost leading in goals. Matthews is dominating in like possession and shots on net and all that stuff. Mitch Marner as well for Leafs is clicking on all cylinders, looking exactly like little Patty Kane, as I like to call him. Rinsky in Columbus, amazing on the back end. Wouldn't be surprised he gets nominated, or he should be, for a Calder as well. Vesey's still playing well on the Rangers. Murray on your Penguins, between the pipes, playing ballistically amazing. The list goes on. There's Carlo, there's Konecny, there's Skay, there's Aho, Buchnevich. I don't know. It's just there's so many of them. They're amazing. Half of them, I believe, are on the Maple Leafs. Are they not? So
yeah,
there's
it's kind of ridiculous. The Leafs have a lot of good rookies.
And they do. And I don't know. I think there's over 25 rookies with at least 5 points or more. So
yeah, almost top 10 have 10 points or more.
Wow.
And there's Tachuk, Point, and Provorov all with 9. And they're 10, 11, and 12 in points scoring race. So it's wild.
The trend. They're younger, they're cheaper, and they're very good as well.
Yeah,
so
everybody's just maturing so much earlier that these guys are just fitting into the lineup and being big-time cogs in a team. It's crazy.
Yeah. So to the top 10 list. Number 10. In 1981, Peter Stastny won the Calder. 109 points. Oh, I missed the 80s with all the points. 109 points. He was sixth in the league. Only sixth in the league in points that year, but he won only 40% of the Calder votes because at that time, before Paul was born. Am I right, Paul?
Oh yeah, way before.
The voting was very different, so that's why the percentage is kind of more askew because they didn't have. I don't think they had the 3-tier system in the voting. So he's 10th. Number 9 in 2007, Yevgeny Malkin.
My boy.
Oh, yeah. 33 goals, 85 points, and that put him in the top 20 overall. But he won 95% of the Calder vote. So he totally dominated that year, and he was great as a rookie.
He also had a wicked line mate in Jordan Stahl, who was also a great rookie that year. Jordan Stahl is really dominating from what I hear in the face-off circle, right? He's 4 straight years, and especially this year, doing really well there. All right, number 8, 1982, Dale Hawerchuk for the Jets, 45 goals, 103 in points. He was 12th in goals that year and in points in the whole league. But you know what's more amazing? 5th in Hart voting. 82% for the Calder votes in a very, very tough year because Peterson and Broughton also had 90-point-plus seasons. And, of course, Grant Fuhr, only 5 losses, playing amazing for the Oilers, of course. Number 7, 1994, Martin Brodeur, of course, 27 wins, only 11 losses. And at that time, a .915 save percentage was considered amazing. 4th in save percentage, 10th in wins. He was also voted only 4%, but he did for the Vezina, and again 61% for votes for the Calder. 6th, 1989, Brian Leetch, of course, for the Rangers. 71 points, 85% of the Calder vote. Only one guy was even remotely close, was Trevor Linden. He was top 10 in Norris votes as well, and 4th in goals by defensemen. Very few defensemen on this list because, again, it's very hard, and it takes, again, a while for defensemen to mature, right? Yep.
So number 5 is Joe Nieuwendyk in 1988. 51 goals, 92 points. Top 5 in goals, 15 in points. Nominated as well for third in Lady Bing voting, and he won 99% of the caller voting. So, Lady Bing, hey, Paul, my Austin Matthews, I still think he might have a chance at this Bing for the Leafs this year.
No.
So, no, you think not at all? He needs to be much higher in points.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I remember I picked it. I still think it might be true. He has a chance to be at least nominated for both awards. That'd be pretty cool. And that's what Nieuwendyk did in 1988. Had a chance for the Bing and won the Calder. 2004 for my fourth pick. 2006 is Alexander Ovechkin, of course. 52 goals, 106 points. He was third in goals and third in points that year. He was so good. He was 8% in Hart voting, 6th overall, and of course, easily 99% for the Calder, because he didn't get that 1 more percent because there was a kid named Sid the Kid that was just a little bit close, only 4 less points. But of course, Ovi with 52 goals was insane. Number 3 in the top 10 is 1993's Teemu Selanne. Insane 76 goals. That was crazy. 132 points. Easily the top rookie in goals. Tied with McGillney in the league for first in goals and fifth in points. 100% of the vote for the Calder. And he also only got some votes for the Hart as well. 2%. That year, Mario had 69 goals. So he was the best, and 160 points. That was insane. But again, 76 goals by Teemu as a rookie. Outstanding. Number 2, 1972's Ken Dryden for the Habs. 39 wins, 8 losses, 2.24 goals against average. He was first in wins in the whole league as a rookie. Amazing. 4th in save percentage and 2nd in Hart voting. He almost won the Hart as a rookie. That's insane. And then my number 1 pick is 1991, Ed Belfour. 43 wins. He was first in wins in the league, but by a landslide. The second best in wins was Vernon with 31 wins. Most shots against. His defense wasn't even helping him that much, so he had to make a lot of saves. So that also gave him the best save percentage in the league as well. He won the Vezina easily at 96%, the Vezina and the Calder, and also third for the Hart at 19%. Nominated for the Hart, won the Vezina and the Calder. Ed Belfour, the best Calder season of all time.
Wow, and you definitely dove deep into percentage voting and all that stuff like that. Yep. That's impressive, Peter. Good job.
Yeah, and we're gonna post this on jablamthehockey.com, so you can check out the stats I was rambling on there, but it was pretty impressive what a lot of these guys did, especially Belfour. Wow, I barely recall that year, of course, because I was very young, but that's outstanding. And all these guys, great ones.
How did you leave out Bobby Orr, Mario Lemieux, and there was another one I looked through the Calder list, Pavel Bure? How'd you leave these guys off this list?
It just, percentages wise, in my opinion, in terms of what these guys accomplished, what they did against the rest of the league, and in total points. I was also looking at total wins and total points that these guys did versus other players in other years.
Nice.
So I had to. Honorable mentions, and again, you have to skew it a bit because of percentages in terms of where they were playing in the league. Because Ovi, insane. I think he could have been even higher, just because putting that many points in a different era of less scoring is much more difficult.
Yeah.
Just like Malkin, what he did. Honorable mentions, I still think Panarin, what he did last year, was very good. Top 10 in the league, 30 goals, and his Calder vote was still pretty good against Ghost Bear and McDavid, who both had outstanding seasons. Makarov's first Calder year, which, I could talk about this forever. I'm still shocked that Russians can come here and win the Calder, even though they played pro in the KHL or the Russian league back in the the 80s and 90s, and they're still considered a rookie when they come here. I think that's a bit of a shame and not fair to guys that play maybe in the HL or Gretzky say in the WHA that didn't get a chance to win the Calder. I don't know. I don't think it's fair, and that's coming from a guy has a Russian background, so I don't know. But Makarov did well. Even Tyler Myers, his rookie season, which people thought he was going to explode and be even better, he had 48 points in his rookie year. So that was pretty amazing.
Off the top of your head, is there one that had the worst Calder that you looked through and you were like, oh, that's like the bottom. That's like the 100th Calder. I don't know how many years? 32. It started in 32, so yeah. Something like 70 years or 75 years.
That's a tough one because I wasn't really looking at that so much. But as well, when I was looking in the older years, rookies didn't seem like they had to do as much as they did nowadays. And again, they let some of these guys grow for a while, right? Like the top Calder years, which were still pretty good for that era, were like in 1960, Bill Hay, 55 points. It was amazing at that time, but at the same time, comparing to now, it doesn't seem like that big. In 52, I think it was Boom Boom, Bernie Jeffrey on 30 goals. It's great, but comparing to this era, it's not as great. So hopefully this year, a Maple Leaf can win the Calder because the first year, I think, was it the first year? Well, maybe the third year was 1937 Celebs. So hopefully maybe a Maple Leaf can win this year.
Yes, the first year, Peter, was 1932. Carl Voss was the first Calder trophy winner.
So, yeah, we're going to post on JabalimaHockey.com. Check them out. Paul, you got some stuff, some fantasy up and down stuff for us?
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks, so let's do some fantasy up and down. David Perron, my number one pickup, 19% owned. He's 21st ranked in the past 2 weeks. 2 goals, 6 assists. Plus minus is not very great, but I don't really worry about plus minus. It's kind of just a stat that shouldn't be in fantasy hockey just because
it's so random.
Yeah,
it's so random.
You could be skating off the ice and the other team scores and you get the minus. And definitely try to talk your commissioner into getting rid of plus minus and penalty minutes. I'm not a fan of penalty minutes either, but that's for a different story. Mikko Rantanen, right winger, 5% owned. This kid just got called up. We covered him in Team ISO. Mm-hmm. He's going to be good, and he's going to have a pretty decent year this year. 47th ranked in the past 2 weeks, 7 points in 7 games.
Wow, already. Wow.
Yeah, 5% owned, and you get a point per game guy. I definitely would take that.
Is he top 2 lines?
He is playing with McDavid or with McKinnon, I believe, right now. So I don't know if he's considered the second line or the first line with Duchesne there. And
Duchesne.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure which line is first line, but yeah, he's playing with McKinnon mostly. Nice. Nemesnikov filling in for Stamkos. We talked about it last week that somebody's got to move into that Stamkos role. While Nemesnikov,
so it's Vladislav.
6 points in the last 8 games played. So most of those games were with Stamkos in the lineup. I think Stamkos has only been out for 3 or 4 games, so he's definitely the hot hand right now in Tampa Bay, and he's 14% owned, so definitely grab him. A couple of quick hits. Arvidsson, 7% owned. He's definitely lighting it up right now. Connor Brown from the Toronto Maple Leafs, having a pretty good couple of weeks. He's only 1% owned, so definitely be able to grab him in almost every league. And Sam Gagner, we talked about him in Team ISO a couple of weeks ago. Allison Lucan talked to us. Gagner is one of the best pickups in the offseason. 12% owned, so he's riding a hot hand right now too. Guys who you can drop. You might be shocked by one of these guys.
All right.
Not Andrew Ladd. Andrew Ladd should be dropped. 55% owned. Worst offseason signing in the entire NHL.
I called it.
He's 474th ranked for the season. Only 3 points, Peter.
Wow.
Can you believe that? Andrew Ladd, 3 points. 55% owned. Why are you owning this guy?
I don't know. And yeah, the Islanders are not playing well. I don't know. I don't even know what line he's playing on, but I hope it's not with Tavares.
No, they've
Wow.
kind of just putting a spin cycle on their whole team
Yeah.
lineup, and it's just been a mess. And the
Yeah.
Islanders are in trouble. Capuano, we talked about, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Garth Snow should be in trouble. The Islanders need to, I think, just blow it up.
Yeah.
We
Well,
talked
I don't
about
know, blow it up, but we'll see.
we talked about Louis Eriksson 2 weeks ago, last fantasy up and down. He was 56% owned. We told you to drop him. He's down to 48%, and I'm telling you to keep dropping him.
Keep dropping him. Well, I think once you've dropped him, you can't.
Well,
But the other people are not
the
listening
guys
to
that
us.
didn't listen, the 48% that didn't listen, drop him. He's
Yeah.
not worth owning. There's way better talent out there. Left wing, right wing eligible. Sure, go get David Perron right now. Like, he's left wing, right wing eligible if you want that dual eligibility.
Yeah.
The guy, the shocker, Bobby Ryan. Drop him. Cut bait. You think?
All right.
Are you surprised by that? No.
Bobby Ryan?
You wouldn't own Bobby
Yeah,
Ryan?
I haven't heard his name much lately, so, maybe it is time for... I think there's rumors that he could be traded, too, so we'll see.
Yeah, 6 points on the season.
Yeah.
It's not good. 57% owned. His ownership needs to go down. And a defenseman, if you're looking for a defenseman to drop, Johnny Boychuk. 6 points. Only 1 power play point. That's where everybody really liked him last year. He was getting power play time. He's not putting any production on the power play. So
They're struggling.
yeah,
Yep.
he's shooting 47 shots already this season, but it's not helping. He's got 6 points, 2 goals, 4 assists.
That's my tip. If teams aren't playing well, maybe it's time to start dropping players from that team.
Yeah.
My dad did the opposite. My dad has like half his team is the Montreal Canadiens right now because especially their defense, even their depth guys are getting decent plus minus and some other stats. So he's picking them up for now, and he's going to keep them for at least a couple of weeks, right? Because the Habs are playing well.
Hopefully he's got Radulov. He's heating up real fast.
Exactly. He's got Radulov. He's got Galchenyuk. He's got a few of the defensemen. So
he should go and try and pick up Pacioretty and buy real low right now. He's struggling, but it's not going to continue.
Yeah. All right, Paul. Thanks for Fantasy Up and Down. Check for a tip next week from Paul. He'll tell you how he's. Is he cheating? Would you call what you're doing in my league, Paul, cheating?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, Paul might be cheating. You'll hear his fantasy tip of how he's maybe skewing or cheating in fantasy leagues next week. All right. There's some contracts out there. Did you see my boy Chewbacca the Beard? I love him. Brent Burns, $8 million for 8 years. Locked him up for the Sharks. Beauty. Great move.
Deserves every penny.
Yeah, and you know what? I still think he might even deserve more. No, especially if the cap keeps going up, right? So
for a GM that said he would never sign 8-year contracts,
yeah,
that's a big move to sign Brent Burns to 8 years.
Yeah, he's a great skater. I still shockingly enjoy watching him skate, and his angles are really good for a big guy. So,
and the fact that if they don't need him on defense anymore, they can move him up to wing. Like, they got 8 years of a utility guy.
Yep. And then the Caps lock up a little bridge deal with Ben Hutton, $2.8 million each for the 2 years. So they like him. They want to see more of him, and then think of maybe getting a longer contract in 2 years. So we'll see. He's doing pretty well for them. Very few bright spots on the Canucks, but he might be one of them. The other one that is a big bright spot, and they're looking to, is Bo Horvat. I think they're looking to lock him up long term. So that might take a while to do that, but I think they're trying to do that.
Yeah, maybe they'll do a bridge and wait until the Sedins are up. Maybe.
I don't know. That's the question mark, right? Because they really do want to lock him up long term, but again, can they fit that under the cap with the Sedins and everything? So we'll see how that goes. And that's it for this episode. Again, remember, folks, to go on JablamHockey.com. Check out our game notes while you're listening to the episode. Facebook, Jablam Hockey's on there. Paul's going to post his year and A. And then also, if you haven't, again, we're still making our Saturday's picks. How did we do last week, Paul?
We went 5-6. You went 5-6. I went 4-7. Not the greatest.
Yeah, it was a weird weekend. You even saw me. I can't believe I was like, I took a gamble on a few of them too, and I was still right on some of them. I was wrong on some of them as well. But the Canucks, come on!
Yeah,
I was like,
they burned
I
you
had
good.
a feeling Canucks might win that one too. They were up 3-0 in the third, and they pulled the Canucks.
That's too bad. Our records are still really good. You're 33-23. I'm 36-20. So we're still way up above 500.
Yep. So we're still doing well. Check them out again on Saturday. We're going to post them up late Friday night for this Saturday. Check them out, and we might help you out with some of your picks if you're going to do. What are we going to have next episode? Well, you're going to have Yay or Nay with me, Peter, talking about my Maple Leafs at the quarter mark. Hopefully we have a team ISO. We'll see. We might do Coyotes. We might do Sabres. We'll see about that. And, of course, we'll have a Jablam Junior Hockey update and a fantasy tip from Paul. Is he cheating? We'll see. All right. Again, subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.